How can acceptance from a loving person in my life create dread and a shame feeling for me? In my last blog, I expressed personal distress when dealing with deep acceptance from my husband, how it strangely set off an alarm in my brain and caused me to feel dread and a weighted down feeling physically. Can you imagine that something so wonderful as acceptance or something similar could create this reaction? Hi, I'm Andy Krumer. I'm a counselor, a mama, a wife, a daughter, a sister, and I'm also as human as they come. I often make mistakes, feel broken, and I turn to my friends, my family, my church, my therapist, and above all, God, for support. While acceptance, care, and love from others can create pleasant feelings for humans, these positive and healthy gifts can strangely feel like a curse to others. Maybe not all the time, but at certain times, messages of acceptance or something similar by those we trust can create sensations in the mind and the body of the person who's dealing with wounds of their upbringing, teenhood, or emotional harm that occurred later in life. In my last video, I shared how acceptance created a chain reaction in my mind and my body. Though that might not be the only act that creates this reaction, it is something I'd like to talk about in this video. Dr. Bruce Perry, a writer of The Boy Who Was Raised as a Dog, discusses that for some, if the brain isn't used to a positive feeling, or rather, if it's more familiar with fear-based or threatening feelings, then positive feelings can produce a reaction of a threat response. Rather than resonating concurrently and appropriately with a happy feeling, it feels threatened. It's as though the brain not only discounts the feeling, but it looks for the threat within it. It simply isn't used to using that neural pathway, and it wants to use the one it's marched over for much longer. You may be surprised by your reaction, or someone else's reaction to positive feedback. You may experience shutdown or some kind of type of negative override of a friendly emotion. In short, the brain goes back to what it's familiar with. The nervous system tracks with that reaction, and the body feels it. I expressed to you I felt a deep feeling in my core of dread and weightiness. It could be my brain reacting by immobilizing me, kind of freezing me. More about that another time. It could be that the sensation is just congruent, meaning consistent, with my emotions, right? Remember in my last video, I explained I had finally gotten down to the message in my core. I don't know how to exist right. I don't seem to know how to human right. I can't do this right. Pretty deep stuff. My body went there with me, deep and weighty. I'd like to include that this was a feeling of dread and also had symptoms of unhealthy shame. Shame of my very existence, or shaming myself for lack of knowing kind of what I'm doing here or how to be on this planet. If you know someone that is feeling this way, send them this video. We're going to slowly try to crack the code on this reaction together and look at what it looks like to help. My blogs and writings are not intended to replace professional therapy. If you're in crisis, you need to call 911 or seek professional services in your area. Let's be courageous together as we heal and grow. Take care.